Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the world of HDFC Bank,
Yep.
India's largest private sector bank.
Okay.
You guys sent over their business responsibility and sustainability report for 2024, and, well, it's a lot.
It's a bit of a whopper.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
That's what we do here, though, right? We pull out all the fascinating stuff,
Yeah, that's right.
even if it's buried pretty deep.
That's why you have us at help.
Okay,
Uncover the strategies and initiatives,
let's jump right in.
the performance.
Probably the biggest news of the year for HDFC Bank was the merger with their parent company, HDFC Limited.
Yeah, back in July of 2023.
Back in July of 23.
Huge deal.
Huge deal.
Yeah.
This wasn't just any old business deal, was it?
No, it created like a financial powerhouse.
Right.
Like a real force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
What I think is really interesting about it is how it's reshaping their offerings.
Okay.
So, HDFC Limited was a major player in mortgages.
All right.
And now the bank has added that entire segment to its portfolio.
So they went from being a big player to like
A giant.
a giant.
Yeah.
And the report shows they're really flexing those financial muscles.
Oh, yeah.
Their balance sheet grew by a massive 46.7%.
Year on year.
Year on year, hitting a staggering 17,623 crore rupees.
Wow.
To put that in perspective, that's roughly the GDP of a small country.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Anyone who is interested in Indian finance, real estate, the economy in general,
Yeah.
should be paying attention to this.
Right.
This kind of growth really signifies a major shift in the landscape.
And it's not just growth for growth's sake.
No.
Their profits also saw a huge jump, 37.9%.
Massive.
And a big chunk of that
Where does that come from?
is due to their expansion into mortgages after the merger,
Ah.
which shows that this strategy is paying off quickly.
It's working.
Yeah.
And they're not hoarding all that profit either.
Oh,
The dividend payout was 19.5 rupees per share.
okay.
Pretty healthy.
Yeah. Not bad.
Sends a clear message that they're in a strong financial position.
Right.
And committed to rewarding their shareholders.
Speaking of commitment, HDFC Bank seems to be making some real strides when it comes to their employees,
Yeah.
particularly women in the workforce.
Absolutely.
What's going on there?
So they exceeded their target of having 25% women in their workforce by 2025.
Okay.
They've already reached 26%,
Wow.
which translates to over 55,000 women.
That's impressive, especially in a sector like finance,
Yeah.
which has traditionally struggled with gender diversity.
Sure.
Are they leading the pack in India on this front?
It's definitely a step in the right direction.
Okay.
And it does put them among the leaders.
Right.
The financial sector in India is becoming increasingly competitive for talent.
Yeah.
And, creating an inclusive environment is essential for attracting and retaining the best people.
For sure.
So this is really important.
Now let's talk about something that's transforming every sector these days, technology. And HDFC Bank seems to be going all in on digitalization.
They are.
Tell me about it.
And they're doing it in some really interesting ways.
Okay.
They have this platform called Smart Hub Vyapar,
Okay.
which now boasts over 1.6 million merchants.
Wow.
It's a clear signal that they're not just focused on, traditional banking.
Right.
They're really building a digital ecosystem.
So it's not just about online banking anymore.
Right. It's more than that.
Okay.
They're turning their digital channels into platforms for a whole suite of financial services.
Okay.
So, for example,
Yeah.
they've introduced Express Car Loan,
Okay.
which allows people to apply for and get car loans
Right.
digitally in under 30 minutes.
Wow. Talk about efficiency.
It's fast.
That's the kind of thing that can really change the customer experience.
For sure.
But with all this digitalization, how are they making sure things stay secure?
Yeah.
Hacking and data breaches are a major concern these days.
Big concern.
Yeah.
You're right. Security is paramount. They've adopted something called zero trust architecture for their cybersecurity.
Okay.
Imagine a bank where every employee, every device, even the furniture, is constantly being verified and monitored.
Wow.
That's the essence of zero trust,
Right.
leaving nothing to chance.
So it's like having a digital security guard on every corner, constantly checking IDs.
Exactly.
I like it.
But a zero trust approach is incredibly complex and expensive to implement.
I bet.
It requires a complete shift in thinking about security.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to know how they're managing the cost and complexity of it all.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic of big, complex systems, HDFC Bank is making some serious moves in another area that requires a major shift in thinking.
What's that?
Sustainability.
Yes.
And they've set a very ambitious goal
Oh,
to
yeah.
be carbon neutral for their own operations by 2032.
Big goal.
Yeah.
And this isn't just lip service.
Okay.
They're walking the walk,
Yeah.
investing in renewable energy and integrating sustainable practices throughout their operations.
Speaking of walking the walk, they're financing renewable energy projects on a massive scale.
Oh, yeah.
Over 10,052 megawatts of capacity in 2024 alone.
Wow.
It's not just about reducing their own footprint. They're helping to build a greener future for India.
That's great.
Yeah.
This reflects a broader shift we're seeing in the financial sector globally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, institutions are realizing that investing in renewables is not just good for the planet,
Right.
it's good business.
Smart.
They're mitigating risks associated with climate change and positioning themselves for a future where sustainability is key.
Okay, so they're merging, they're going digital, they're going green.
Yeah.
Is there anything HDFC Bank isn't doing?
Well, they're also taking their role in society very seriously.
Okay.
Their commitment to financial inclusion, particularly in rural India, really stands out.
Right. We have to talk about Dairy Kefiri.
Yeah.
That's a unique initiative that really caught my eye. Tell me more.
They're helping milk vendors in rural areas become dairy entrepreneurs,
Okay.
providing them not only with access to finance, but also with the training and mentorship they need to succeed.
So it's about more than just giving them a loan. It's about empowering them to build sustainable businesses.
Exactly.
It's a very different approach than traditional banking.
It is.
Can you tell me about one vendor who transformed their life through this program?
Absolutely. There's a woman named Lakshmi
Okay.
in a small village near Pune.
Okay.
She used to sell milk door to door, barely making ends meet.
Right.
Through Dairy Kefiri, she received a loan and training to start her own small dairy processing unit.
Wow.
Now she not only earns a better living, but also employs a few others from her village.
That's fantastic.
Her story is just one example of the impact this program is having.
That's amazing. I love how they're connecting financial success with social impact.
Yeah,
But it's a powerful example of how a bank can be a force for positive change.
for sure.
But are they applying this approach more broadly?
Yes, they're tackling other social issues as well,
Okay.
from education to healthcare.
Oh.
We can dive into some of those initiatives later.
We definitely should. But before we get to that, I think we need to take a closer look at some of the specifics of their tech transformation
Okay.
and how they're making sustainability a reality, not just a buzzword.
Agreed.
Great. Well, stay tuned, listeners, because we're about to dive even deeper into the fascinating world of HDFC Bank.
Welcome back to our deep dive into HDFC Bank.
So we've seen how this financial powerhouse is navigating mergers,
Yeah.
embracing technology, and prioritizing sustainability.
Uh-huh.
Now let's zoom in on some specifics.
Okay.
I'm really curious to see how they're putting these concepts into action.
Yeah.
Their tech transformation is a great place to start.
Okay.
They mentioned something called journeys in the report.
Oh, yeah.
What's that all about?
It's a fascinating approach to customer experience.
Okay.
They've created over 30 digital journeys for acquiring new customers
Okay.
and 15 for servicing existing ones.
Gotcha.
It's all about making banking as seamless as possible.
Okay.
From opening an account to getting a loan top-up.
So it's like personalized step-by-step guides for different banking needs.
Precisely.
Okay.
And it's clearly paying off.
Yeah.
Yeah, over 3/4 of their new customers are coming through these digital channels,
Wow.
often without any paperwork at all.
Really?
They even have a system for in-principle loan approvals in under 30 minutes.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
It really does sound like they're at the forefront of the fintech revolution.
they're really pushing the boundaries.
But with all this digitalization, security has to be a major concern.
You're right.
Right.
And HDFC Bank is taking a multi-layered approach to cybersecurity.
Okay.
We already touched on their zero trust architecture,
Right.
but they're also doing things like network microsegmentation to contain potential breaches.
So kind of like dividing their network into smaller, more secure compartments.
Exactly. And they're using AI and machine learning to constantly monitor for unusual activity.
So it really is like having that digital security guard.
Yeah.
That never sleeps.
And that's a good way to put it.
Now let's shift gears to sustainability.
Okay.
They mentioned ambitious carbon neutrality goals,
Right.
but what specific actions are they taking?
Well, for one, they're investing heavily in renewable energy,
Okay.
not just by financing projects, but also by using solar power in their own operations.
Oh, okay.
In fact, they've already got over 2,000 projects certified under the Indian Green Building Council standards.
So their commitment to sustainability isn't just about looking good. It's about changing how they operate on a fundamental level.
Precisely.
I like it.
They're also looking at their supply chain,
Okay.
encouraging their partners to adopt similar sustainable practices.
So it's spreading outwards.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And they're promoting energy efficiency in their offices,
Okay.
using things like occupancy sensors to reduce consumption.
So it's like a ripple effect spreading outwards from their core operations.
Exactly.
Very cool.
And they're even tackling the less glamorous aspects of sustainability,
Okay, such as?
like waste management.
Right.
They're making a conscious effort to recycle paper,
Okay.
and even found an innovative way to dispose of old flex materials from their signage.
Wow. They're really thinking about every detail.
They are.
But let's be honest, all this sustainability talk can sometimes feel a bit abstract.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
How does it actually benefit the average customer?
That's a great question.
Right.
For one, a bank committed to sustainability is likely to be more stable in the long run.
Okay.
They're managing risks associated with climate change and resource depletion,
Right.
which ultimately strengthens their financial position.
So it's not just about doing good.
Yeah.
It's also good business.
Right.
But
And for customers who care about these issues,
yeah.
it's reassuring to know that their money is supporting a bank that aligns with their values.
Right.
It's a win-win situation.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about their efforts in financial inclusion.
Okay.
Dairy Kai Fury really caught my attention.
Yeah, it's a great program.
How exactly are they transforming milk vendors into entrepreneurs?
It's a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
They're providing access to finance, of course,
Right.
but also training and mentorship to help these individuals develop business skills.
So they're really giving them the tools they need.
They are.
Yeah.
They're basically creating a whole ecosystem to support these micro-entrepreneurs.
So it's not just about giving them a loan. It's
Mhm.
about empowering them to build sustainable businesses.
Exactly.
And it has a ripple effect on the community as well,
It does.
right? These dairy entrepreneurs create jobs,
Uh-huh.
boost local economies,
Yeah.
improve access to dairy products in rural areas.
That's really impressive.
It's a fantastic example of how a bank can contribute to inclusive growth.
Absolutely.
This all sounds very impressive, but are there any areas where they could do better? Are there any blind spots in their sustainability strategy?
Well, every organization has room for improvement.
Right.
While they've made progress in measuring their financed emissions,
Okay.
they acknowledge that there's still work to be done in expanding their coverage and setting more ambitious reduction targets.
Okay.
They're also facing some scrutiny for financing certain fossil fuel projects,
Oh.
which some stakeholders view as inconsistent with their stated climate goals.
Right. That's a valid point.
Yeah.
It highlights the challenges of balancing those immediate economic needs with long-term sustainability goals.
Absolutely. There's always a tension between the two.
Right.
And it's something that HDFC Bank, like all financial institutions, will need to continue navigating carefully.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Before we move on to their social impact initiatives, I'd love to hear what aspect of HDFC Bank's strategy has you most intrigued.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
For me, it's their commitment to weaving technology and sustainability into everything they do. It's not just about having separate departments for these things.
Right.
It's about integrating them into their DNA.
That's a great observation.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable.
It's like they're building a bank for the future.
Yeah.
One that's both profitable and purpose-driven.
Exactly. And it'll be fascinating to see how their ambitious plans unfold in the coming years.
Well said. Now let's dive into their other social impact initiatives.
Okay.
And explore how they're going beyond Dairy Kefiri to make a difference in communities across India.
Let's do it.
We've explored HDFC Bank's impressive strides in technology sustainability and financial inclusion.
It's really quite remarkable.
But all of this rests on a solid foundation.
Yeah,
Good governance.
absolutely right.
You're right. And this is where the bank's board of directors and their various committees play a crucial role.
They do.
It's interesting to see they have a very diverse board with members possessing expertise in finance, technology, and even social development.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's not just a bunch of bankers making decisions in a vacuum.
Right.
Not at all.
They've got specialists bringing different perspectives to the table.
Exactly. And they have a robust system of checks and balances in place,
Okay.
with committees dedicated to specific areas like audit, risk management, and customer service.
That does sound reassuring.
Yeah, it's a well-structured setup.
But what about transparency? How do they ensure things are open and accountable?
Well, they're very transparent with their financial reporting,
Okay.
adopting the latest accounting standards and providing detailed disclosures in their annual report.
Okay.
They also have a comprehensive whistleblower policy,
Okay.
encouraging the reporting of any unethical behavior.
So they're trying to create a culture where people feel safe speaking up if they see something wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not just focused inward.
Okay.
They're actively engaging with their stakeholders,
Okay.
not just shareholders,
Right.
but also employees, customers, and the communities they serve.
Right. That's important, especially when you consider the scale of their operations and the impact they have.
Absolutely. They conduct regular surveys, hold meetings, and have various channels for feedback and grievance redressal.
It sounds like they're really making an effort.
They are. It's clear they recognize that good governance is about more than just compliance.
Right.
It's about building trust.
And long-term value for all their stakeholders.
Precisely.
Okay, this deep dive has given us a lot to think about.
It has.
What does it all mean for our listener who's maybe considering investing in HDFC Bank or just wants to understand this financial giant better?
I think the key takeaway is that HDFC Bank is a company that's looking towards the future.
Yeah.
They're not resting on their laurels.
Right.
They're constantly evolving, innovating, and trying to make a positive impact.
They're not shying away from change, whether through mergers technology or sustainability initiatives.
And they're doing it while maintaining strong financial performance and a commitment to good governance.
That's a powerful combination for investors and a reassuring sign for customers. So HDFC Bank is a company worth watching, not just for their financial performance, but for how they're shaping the future of banking in India.
Couldn't agree more. Their journey is far from over, and it will be fascinating to see how their ambitious plans unfold.
Well said. And for you, our listener, we hope this deep dive has provided you with valuable insights into HDFC Bank.
Yeah, it's a fascinating company.
It's a complex organization, but hopefully we've made it a bit less daunting and a lot more interesting.
And hopefully a bit more inspiring.
Yeah, we encourage you to continue exploring, take a look at their full report, follow their news, and see how their actions match their words.
Yeah, do your own deep dive.
You might even find yourself inspired to support businesses that align with your values or to advocate for positive change.
That'd be great.
Knowledge is power, and understanding how companies like HDFC Bank operate can empower you to make more informed decisions about your finances, your career, or even your role as a responsible citizen.
Well said.
So keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.
We'll see you next time.
And we'll be here ready to guide you on your journey of discovery. Until next time, happy diving.